There is someone in your circle right now who is silently rooting for you to fail. They laugh with you, they hug you, they say, I'm proud of you. But every time something good happens in your life, they ask one innocent looking question that leaves you feeling small, confused, or guilty for winning. That is not curiosity. That is jealousy wearing friendship clothes. And once you hear these four questions clearly, you will never unhear them again. I am not here to turn you paranoid. I am here to give you clarity because jealousy doesn't always come as hatred. Sometimes it comes as concern. Sometimes it comes as jokes. Sometimes it comes as questions that sound normal until you replay them in your head and go, wait a second, why would you even ask me that? And the scary part is that almost everyone has asked one of these questions before. The difference is the intent. When you start to level up, the people around you have to make a choice. They either have to be inspired by your growth and move with you, or they have to find a way to minimize your growth so they don't feel bad about staying where they are. Most people choose the second option because it's easier. It's easier to shrink you than it is to grow themselves. Let's break down the four questions that reveal who is actually struggling with your success. 1. So, how did you even manage to do that? This first one sounds harmless. It sounds supportive. It sounds like interest, but the tone is everything. A supportive friend asks because they want to learn. A jealous friend asks because they don't believe you deserved it. Notice how the question is framed. It is not, I'm so proud of you, tell me about the process. It's not, teach me how you did it. No, it is usually followed by a pause, a raised eyebrow, or a half smile. It is almost like they are trying to solve a mystery that shouldn't exist. Because in their mind, you weren't supposed to win. This question isn't about the process, it's about disbelief. It's them mentally scanning for shortcuts, luck, connections, or cheating. Anything that makes your success less valid. They want a flaw in the story. They want to find the one thing they can point to and say, oh, that's why it happened. They want relief from the uncomfortable truth that you actually worked harder or grew faster than them. When you explain your hard work, they get quiet. When you explain your struggles, they nod aggressively like they finally found something to hold on to. But the moment you mention a bit of luck, they relax. Because luck means it wasn't really you. Luck means they didn't fail. You just got a cheat code. A jealous friend hates one thing more than your success. They hate the idea that you earned it. If someone keeps asking how you managed to do something every time you level up, understand this. They are not asking to be inspired. They are asking to be reassured that you aren't actually better than them. They are looking for the but in your success story so they can sleep better at night. 2. Don't you think you're doing too much? This question is incredibly sneaky because it comes dressed as concern. It pretends to care about your mental health, your balance, or your peace. But let's be honest with ourselves. Nobody asks this when you are wasting your potential. Nobody asks this when you are stuck. Nobody asks this when you are average. They only ask this when you start moving differently. They ask this when your schedule changes, when your priorities shift, and when your goals start costing you comfort. Suddenly, you're doing too much. Suddenly, you're not the same anymore. Suddenly, they miss the old you. Of course they do. The old you didn't challenge their position in your life. The old you didn't make them reflect on their own lack of ambition. The old you made them feel safe. This question is basically a request disguised as advice. It is a request for you to slow down so they don't feel left behind. A real friend might worry about your burnout, but they will never try to shrink your ambition. They might say rest, but they will never say stop. They might say pace yourself, but they will never say dim your light. A jealous friend wants you comfortable, not fulfilled. They want you predictable, not powerful. They want you available, not ascending. When someone keeps asking if you're doing too much, listen carefully. Because sometimes doing too much really means you're doing more than me and it's making me uncomfortable. That discomfort is their responsibility to deal with, not yours to fix. You are not responsible for the insecurity your work ethic triggers in other people. If they feel left behind, it is because they stopped walking, not because you started running. 3. Why are you acting so different lately? This is the guilt question. This one hits deep because it messes with your identity. It makes you second guess your growth. It makes you wonder if you've become arrogant, distant, or cold. But let me translate this for you. They aren't asking why you changed. They are asking why you no longer fit the role they assigned to you. Growth always looks like betrayal to people who benefited from your old limits. When you stop oversharing, when you stop explaining yourself, when you stop being available on demand, and when you stop tolerating nonsense, they call it acting different. But you aren't acting different. You are acting aligned. You cannot upgrade your life and keep the same dynamics. It is impossible. Someone always loses access. Someone always feels threatened. Someone always feels exposed. They ask this question hoping you'll apologize for evolving. They want you to reassure them that you're still the same, still reachable, and still beneath them in some way. Because if you are truly different, then they have to confront the fact that they stayed the same. It is a defense mechanism. By labeling your growth as acting different, they turn your success into a character flaw. They make your progress look like a loss of authenticity. But true authenticity is being who you are meant to be today, not who you were 5 years ago. Don't let them guilt you back into a version of yourself that you've already outgrown. 4. Are you sure you can handle all this pressure? This is the fourth and perhaps the most damaging question. It sounds like a reality check. It sounds like they are being the voice of reason in your life. But look at what it's actually doing. It is planting a seed of doubt. It is suggesting that your success is a burden rather than a blessing. It is focusing on the potential for failure rather than the potential for further growth. When you share a big win or a new opportunity, and their first response is to ask about the pressure or the risk, they are trying to dampen your fire. They want to make you feel heavy. They want you to associate your progress with stress and anxiety. If they can make you fear the weight of your own crown, you might just take it off. A supportive person will say, I know you've got what it takes to handle this. A jealous person will say, are you sure you aren't getting in over your head? They want to see you wobble. They want to see you doubt yourself. Because if you doubt yourself, you'll stop. And if you stop, they don't have to watch you succeed anymore. This question is a projection of their own fear. They couldn't handle the pressure, so they assume you can't either. They can't imagine being in your position, so they try to convince you that your position is a dangerous place to be. Do not mistake their fear for wisdom. Their reality check is really just an attempt to pull you back into their reality. So what do you do with all of this? You don't confront them aggressively. You don't start a fight. You don't give long-winded speeches about your growth. You simply observe. You notice who celebrates you loudly and who tolerates you politely. You notice who asks questions to learn and who asks questions to cope. You notice who grows with you and who only stays comfortable around the old version of you. Jealousy isn't usually loud, it's passive, it's subtle, it's repetitive. It's the same 4 questions asked at different stages of your growth. Jealous friends don't necessarily want your total downfall, they want your stagnation. They want you close enough to compare themselves to, but far enough away to not outshine them. That's why they don't sabotage you openly. They just plant doubt and let you do the shrinking yourself. And if you let them, you will. You will start to dim your light. You will start to hide your wins. You will start to apologize for things you should be proud of. You will find yourself explaining your success as if it were an accident. Stop doing that. You don't need to be understood by people who are committed to misunderstanding your growth. You don't need approval from people who benefited from your old limits. And you don't need to explain your evolution to anyone who isn't evolving with you. Outgrowing people isn't a betrayal. It's evidence. It is evidence that something in you decided to live, to move, and to reach for more. If someone in your life keeps questioning your wins, minimizing your effort, and guilt-tripping your growth, you don't have to label them an enemy immediately. Just create distance emotionally. Protect your momentum, protect your confidence, protect your silence. Because the higher you go, the fewer people can genuinely clap for you, and that is not loneliness. That is elevation. Sometimes the real test of friendship isn't who stands by you when you're broken and at your lowest point. The real test is who stays clean and supportive when you're becoming unstoppable. If this resonates with you, take a breath. That discomfort you feel isn't paranoia. It is clarity. It is your intuition telling you that you are moving in the right direction and that it might be time to pack light for the next part of the journey. Keep your eyes open, keep your heart guarded, and most importantly, keep going. Your growth is not a threat to anyone who truly loves you. It is only a threat to the people who were using your old self to feel better about themselves. If this video hit a soft spot, hit that like and share button. It helps us reach more people who need this message. And if you're committed to building an unbreakable mind and habits that puts all these ideas into practice, make sure you're subscribed to our channel because we bring you practical advice ready to implement in your day-to-day life. Remember these insights and the solutions, implement them today. Just pick 1 or 2 and do it right now. And for more deep dives into strengthening your mind and habits, check the rest of our videos. One more thing before we wrap up. Take good care of your mind and emotion. This is the most important asset you have and your biggest investment. Protect and grow it every day so you'll reach that next level you are aiming for. Remember, your mind is worth fighting for. See you in the next video.